families hundreds of years ago. Found it as a way that they could store up, accumulate, grow, and pass on tax-free generational wealth and keep their families in power. So,
don't tell anybody that.
exactly. That's kind of how it's been for so long. It's the best kept secret in America. And I'm getting the secret out there. I'm Robin Hood in this thing. I'm telling everybody. I don't care.
Hey, sales hunters, welcome to season 2 of Beyond the Business Plan, where heart meets hustle and every episode inspires you on your entrepreneurial journey. I'm Leanne Lyon, and together we'll chart new courses, tackle challenges, and celebrate those big wins with expert guests, honest stories, and plenty of joy along the way. If you love the show, tap follow, subscribe, leave a quick review, or join our conversation with hashtag JoyMinder, because your support helps us reach and inspire more entrepreneurs. Set sail on your business adventure with Beyond the Business Plan. My guest today has built a business that today spans all 50 states and includes thousands of people from all walks of life. Jordan Pryor is a native Floridian and follower of Christ. His background was in restaurant management for 7 years prior to getting into the financial service industry. He was introduced to this industry by what feels like a miracle, as he'd been praying for a way out of his job that had him working 80 plus hours per week. And may I just add in here, hospitality, 80 hours per week is harder than almost anything else, 80 hours per week. Not everything, but it's hard. And the man that he met who showed him all of this is from Oakland, California, but happened to be in Sarasota, Florida at that restaurant that day at that time. Only God could arrange that. He shared the story of living benefits with my guest, and he immediately saw that he could have changed everything for his family had he known about it prior to having so many pass away from cancer due to lack of money for treatment. Now Jordan Pryor shares this crusade with as many as he can in hopes that he can prevent anyone else from suffering that same reality. So with a heart of gold, Jordan, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
There he is. Jordan, it's such a pleasure to see you. I'm so excited that we're here together at long last. I follow you a lot on Facebook. And I'm just going to say right up front, anybody listening to this podcast, you're watching us on YouTube, wherever it is, check out his Facebook feed. It's so good and it's so faith driven, I will say. I love that in your bio, that's what you lead with pretty much. I added in a little bit at the beginning of the bio, but truly the first things was follower of Christ. And yet, you're not just sitting on a beach saying, "Hey, I surrender, take care of me." You're out there, you're still in the trenches. I hope not 80 hours a week anymore.
No.
Oh, good.
Close.
So, what's different in your life other than you're not carrying trays, wrecking your shoulder and knees, and getting after young servers that, their dog ate their homework?
That's a long story. How long do we got?
You know.
God has radically changed everything in my life through turning me into an entrepreneur. I mean, back in my restaurant days, yeah, I worked those long hours, but I was also extremely stressed out. I had no time to do anything other than wake up, eat, sleep, do it again tomorrow. Or wake up, go to work, eat, sleep, and do it again tomorrow, because that was where I lived. I mean, I spent what felt like more time at my job than I did at home. So I wasn't able to be present with my family, wasn't able to focus on being a good dad, wasn't able to focus on my faith, being involved in church and groups and things like that. I wasn't able to have really any lasting friendships or hobbies or anything like that. And so, boom, God comes in and
So, what was the hardest part of where you were at when you were back working 80 hours a week?
Hmm. Well, there was a lot. There was a lot. I mean, hardest part for me was when I realized that it was kind of all for nothing. I don't know if anybody watching can relate, but I worked all of those hours and had no time to actually live my life
Mm.
because with 80 hours going into work, I spent more time at the restaurant than I spent in my actual life because it was basically I'd wake up, go to work, eat, sleep, and do it again tomorrow. So it was really hard because by the time I'd get home, the people I loved were ready to pass out, right? Ready to go to bed. And by the time I'd leave for work the next day, they were still asleep. And alongside that, there was no time to have any hobbies, be involved in my church, be at groups and things like that to just better myself. So it was just a really harsh reality to see that everything I was doing was ultimately for nothing. And then at the same time, yeah, I made what I thought was good money at the time at 100 grand a year, but I was still kind of rich on Friday and broke on Thursday. Right. And so it was just really hard to come to the reality that 7 years later, I was still pretty much where I was when I first got into that industry. And it
Yeah.
just, it wasn't a good feeling.
So this person that walked into your restaurant, can we give him a first name?
Yeah, Wayne.
Wayne. Awesome. I know Wayne. I've met Wayne too. Wayne walked into your restaurant, sat at your table. Is that how it worked out?
Well, I was the manager.
You're the manager.
Yep.
So how did you end up in a conversation with him? He had a fly in his soup or
He complimented me on how I was running things and
Mm.
asked if that was something I was married to. And I said, well, kind of, yeah. I've been in this industry for all these years. It's all I know. And he said, sharp guy like you, you're meant for more.
Mm.
What do you mean? And he started telling me a little bit about what he's doing, things like that. And he asked me, look, you obviously work hard being here. What do they pay you? It's got to be pretty good. And I was like, oh, yeah, they pay me six figures, this, that, whatever. And he says, takes you a whole year to make that? What? Who are you? Who are you? And what are you talking about? And he wasn't trying to be arrogant or anything like that. He just was at a point in his life where he genuinely couldn't understand how it was okay with me to take so much time away from my family for what he knew to be such little money because I mean, he made a lot more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was a wake up call.
So, and now we're going to touch briefly on, what it is that you do, and I'm going to invite our audience. If you want to know more information about what Jordan's doing, you're absolutely invited to reach out to him or reach out to me. We can tell you more of the details. But something that he said beyond, it takes you a whole year to make that. Something else struck you because you said that in the introduction I shared something he shared told you things could have been different for some of your family members. Do you want to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, other than my parents and my siblings, and obviously my family, all the rest passed away from cancer. And for every single one of them, the story was the same. It wasn't because of the cancer, it was because of the fact that we couldn't afford the treatment at the time for them to get better. And now, after being in this industry for so long, I see that that's the case for most. But when he was sharing about what he did, I was like, man, if I'd known about it sooner, they'd probably still be alive.
Yeah.
And two of my greatest or best friends I've ever had in my life were my grandma and my uncle. They taught me most of what I knew up until my teenage years before they passed. And I lost them both, my grandmother to pancreatic cancer and my uncle to bladder cancer. And neither of them had any reason to ever get cancer, but life happens. So when he was just telling me about all this stuff, I was like, So you're basically telling me that I could still have my two best friends if this wasn't so hush hush. Awesome. Yeah. I'm going to make sure I become the face to get this out there so that no other 13-year-old boys have to have their grandma die in their arms.
Oh, ouch. And so, just like that, basically, you went from being an employee to deciding you were going to move forward essentially into entrepreneurship. Did you know that at the time?
I didn't. When I first got involved with Wayne, I became one of his clients because I could obviously see the value in what he was doing for myself.
Hmm.
And then I was so like excited that I found what felt like a cheat code at that point that I told my living family, my parents, my siblings, my wife, and they all wanted to get involved as well. And so,
Amazing, by the way, just saying.
right.
Incredible.
Well,
God
you
live.
know,
Yes. God
they went,
blessed.
absolutely. They went through similar experience, obviously, seeing all the other people pass. And so I called up Wayne the next day and I said, "Hey, thank you so much for helping me get my family set up or get myself set up. My talk to my family, they want to get some things in place too. Can you help them?" And he goes, "Absolutely. Great job, bro. You want to get paid for it? I mean, I know I told you you're made for more." I said, "Well, tell me more about that. What do you mean?" And he goes on to tell me all the things that involved with doing what he does and whatever. And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." Fast forward 8 days, I had myself set up as far as certifications go. Fast forward another 4 days after that, I had completed my initial training. Mind you, this was while I was working 80 hours a week. And about a week and a half after that, I quit my job. And this was that was Thanksgiving Day 2019. And it was
Wow.
perfect timing because what happened a couple months later was COVID. And
Hmm.
so it's another one of the reasons why I feel like it was a miracle from God because not only was it an answer to prayer, but it was right before I would have become unemployed when the restaurant shut down because the last place I worked at was a Brazilian steakhouse. It's a
What?
buffet. So all the buffets were the first to close when COVID hit because you can't do that during that time of life. So
Unbelievable.
God gave it to me at just the perfect time where I could be out and have it down packed, ready to go. And I've been unemployable since. You can't offer me a job.
That is my that is my story as well. For sure, unemployable. I have actually occasionally, like, let's just face it, entrepreneurship, any kind, what you're doing, what I'm doing, it's not easy. It's not like it's not a walk in the park, it's not a walk on the beach. And there's times when you just feel like, man, I just want to go back and get a JOB until you remember what JOB stands for. Now, I don't know
Hmm.
if you use the acronym the same way I do. Do you have an acronym for that?
Yeah, it's just over broke.
That's the one I know too. And that's what you were saying. I mean, even though you were making six figures was just keeping things going. It wasn't making you have a secure future. It wasn't giving you, necessarily even a lot. Well, it wasn't giving you time to go enjoy anything, even.
Right.
So it's not only being broke financially, which you weren't broke financially, but you're just over broke spiritually, emotionally, physically. And, to be fair, I've gotten to that point a few times myself. I've tried to find a job. I'm not there. Nobody will hire me. They take one look at my LinkedIn profile. They're like, pass. And it's just because I've been out here doing things. I'm a doer, I'm a shaker, I'm a connector. I love to meet people. And that's also what attracted me to this industry. So, all fairness, I'm also looking into and being part of the same organization now that Jordan's part of. It is a network marketing company. I've made no bones about my being a network marketing fan and kind of fanatic. Any of my listeners hear me talking about why I love mycoffee.com as well. But this is one industry that I said I would never be part of. I was never going to get another license ever in anything, much less insurance, which is really what we're talking about here, but more specifically, life insurance. And life insurance, when people hear that, they're like, oh, some people say cringe. But if you think about what Jordan just said, it's really insurance to be able to continue your life, not just something that you can pass on to your heirs. That's not the point. Maybe that happens as well. But more often than not, maybe you know the statistics, Jordan, more often than not, it's not passed on, it's used.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. So the biggest problem with the life insurance industry is that most people, when they think of life insurance, they think of death.
Yep.
And I mean, that's how I was always taught. So, because of that, nobody wants to talk about it. We even make the joke in this industry that if you ever want to sit alone on the airplane, tell the people next to you that you sell life insurance and they'll get up and move. Well, that's how much people don't want to talk about it. And that's why this was a game changer for me, because I never knew that there was life insurance that you didn't have to die to use. And so when Wayne was telling me that you could access up to $1.5 million of your life insurance if you get sick, like my family did, tax free, penalty free, doesn't matter how long you had the policy, I was like, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. That's a game changer, because it was purely financial. The reason why they passed is we just didn't have the money for all their treatment. And so a fraction of that could have saved their life. I was like, wow. But then the more I learned about it, the better it got, because he started talking about the other ways that you can also use it while you're alive, such as, for example, look at retirement. Numbers showed, you asked about some of the statistics, Leanne. Numbers showed that last year, 90% of people in America were failing to retire. Okay, that is terrible, terrible, terrible odds. Okay, that means that 1 out of 10 people, maybe, are retiring successfully. And so he showed me that you can also convert your death benefit into tax-free income for retirement. So, say, for example, we have $1 million policy. That means as long as I keep that policy until I retire, I've got $1 million saved up for retirement, no matter what else is in there. What sounds easier to do? Save $1 million yourself or get approved for $1 million policy? Okay.
I know
Quick,
the answer.
right? Quick math. If you make the average income in America, which is $51,000 a year, we'll round it down to 50. It would take 20 years to even earn $1 million. Okay. 20 years. That's over half my life. I'm 29. Just to earn it. If you were to save $1 million, let's say you made 100 grand a year, like I used to at my other job, you'd have to save 50% of your income before taxes for 20 years to save $1 million. Or I could get approved for $1 million policy with a stroke of a pen.
Yep. And oh, by the way, get approved for that $1 million policy when you're 24, not 56.
Yes, exactly.
Really?
Do you know that you can get $1 million policy on babies as young as 14 days old, and it's like $50 a month?
Yeah,
And
it's very
that stays with them forever. And that was actually why life insurance was invented by the royal families hundreds of years ago. It was because they found it as a way that they could store up, accumulate, grow, and pass on tax-free generational wealth and keep their families in power. So
Don't tell anybody that.
exactly, that's kind of how it's
Oh.
been for so long. Is it's the best kept secret in America, and I'm getting the secret out there. I'm Robin Hood in this thing. I'm telling everybody. I don't care.
Okay, so anybody not watching on YouTube, switch over now and check out what Robin Hood looks like. Just got you just saying. If you're listening on the podcast, you got to go check out what Robin Hood really looks like. He's pointing at himself. It's him.
So, anywho, to go back to your question, the statistics of how many people are using their life insurance with living benefits, the percentage I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But I mean, with my company alone, just last year, there was just under $4 billion worth of benefits paid out to our clients.
Yeah.
2023, there was another $6 billion paid out.
I think
So
he's looking up numbers, by the way. I see light flashing on your face.
that's just in 2 years, $10 billion paid out in benefits,
Uh-huh.
not death benefits, but benefits while alive.
Right. Exactly. So let's talk a little because this podcast is for entrepreneurs. You're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. We're different and the same. And what has that journey as an entrepreneur been like for you? You stepped into it, you quit your job in 2 weeks. You were so grateful a few months later when COVID hit, and it's been smooth sailing, like crossing Lake Pepin at 7 o'clock in the morning ever since, right?
No, not even close.
Not even close. Okay. So what's the reality?
Entrepreneurship is one of the hardest things you'll ever do for
So
so many.
why would anybody do it?
Everything that you do in life is going to be hard. It's just a matter of if it's worth it. And I can tell you, all the years I spent in the W-2 world never felt worth it. But as an entrepreneur, all the hardships I've gone through over the last half decade or more have been worth it. Because, see, at my restaurant job, I put in all those hours, but here's what those hours consisted of: a lot of headaches, migraines with all the stress going on, a lot of missed birthdays, holidays, weekends, you name it, time with my family, missing out on self-care, missing out on being involved in my faith and furthering that, which, if you're not a believer on the call or on the podcast, I highly, highly, highly recommend you ask somebody about that, because that changed my life.
Mm.
Okay. And if you are, you already know what I'm talking about, but get closer with your relationship there. So worth it. Okay. But I didn't have the time to do that before. At least that's what I convinced myself of.
Ah,
And at the end of it all, it just wasn't worth it, because I lost out on so much of what made life for nothing. I was just surviving. I wasn't living. I wasn't thriving. I was surviving. But as an entrepreneur, I go through hardship, sure. I mean, the amount of money that we just spent over the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks moving into this new place is insane. And when you spend more than what's coming in any period of time, yeah, it's hard, especially when everybody else is looking to you for help and this, that, whatever. But it was worth it, because now we're operating out of a place of overflow rather than survival mode. Because back at my restaurant job, I couldn't help anybody but my own family. If a friend asked me, said, "Hey, my car broke down. I need a couple $1,000. Can you loan it to me for a week? Loan it to me for a month?" I'd be like, "Sorry, I don't have it." But now, if somebody calls me up and Holy Spirit's like, "Yeah, help them," okay, we can do that. And that's not to say that, hey, look at me. It's just to say it's been worth it, because I went through hardships in both my W-2 journey and my entrepreneurship journey.
true.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel as an entrepreneur. See, if I were to stop right now, everything I'm doing, I'd still have an income larger than my previous income coming in, passive.
Amazing.
If I were to just say, all right, I'm done, I'm going to spend the rest of my time traveling the world with my family, I'd still make more than I used to at my job.
Wow.
Now, that's the end of the story in this example. But along the way, there were times where we made a whole lot of money. And then there were times where we made no money in a month, no money in 2 months. The first year, second year, whatever, there's lots of ups and downs. There's times where everybody's interested and everybody wants to work with you, everybody wants to buy from you. And there's times where everybody's like, no, I'm good. Or their goldfish gets sick and every single one of your appointments don't show up and cancels or reschedules or whatever. So there's plenty of hardship. There's plenty of things that you're going to go through as an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
The reality is it's part of life. And
Yep.
so I'd way rather be an entrepreneur and go through the challenges of life and have that light at the end of the tunnel versus what I had at my job where I went through stuff anyway, but it was never worth it. So
Awesome. That is a great point. We're going to take a real quick break here. And when we come back, I want to dive a little bit more into another aspect of your business and life as an entrepreneur, and more specifically with network marketing. So if you're a network marketer and you're listening to this, or you're a skeptic of network marketing and you're listening to this, or wherever you lie with that, stick with us. This is going to be an amazing conversation coming up. We'll be right back. Hey, sales setters, do you need energy without the crash? Check out the lifestyle section in our resources on joyminder.com/resources for delicious, healthier coffee alternatives to boost your focus and fuel your hustle. Skip the jitters, love your brew. You can also go directly to whyilovemycoffee.com, and I'll see you there. And we are back. Hey, my name is Leanne Lyon. I'm the host of Beyond the Business Plan. I'm sitting here with Jordan Pryor, Regional Field Director of and Entrepreneur. Jordan has Jordan has shared brilliantly with us thus far his journey as an entrepreneur, his transformation from W-2 restaurant manager to stepping into a business that even if he quit today, would make more than what he was making as a successful restaurant manager in the past, which is a pretty amazing thing. And Jordan, you're like 76 years old. Is that what you said?
29, 29.
29. I'm mistaken. Right. So, yeah, that do you run into some skepticism from people? I've met a lot. Now, to be clear, the organization that you're with and that I'm also working with is a network marketing company. We've already covered that. And it's also a very different network marketing company than what you normally think of. First of all, I'm just going to say up front, we don't pay monthly fees. We don't have to buy anything monthly. And so anybody with a phobia about network marketing, a pyramid scheme about network marketing, you can just toss that out the window right now. But um there is let's see where I lost my train of thought. But I have met so many younger, very successful network marketers like you. And do you run into any sort of issue with that? Do you run into any kind of skepticism because of your age and success?
Yeah, great question. I did more in the past. However, everybody thinks I'm older than I am. So I'm not sure why that is, but it doesn't happen as much now, especially when I dress properly. If I'm in a t-shirt, yeah, for sure. But if I'm dressed the part, most people are fine with my age, especially if we're meeting in person, they see where I live, then all the skepticism goes right out the window. But with network marketing in general, yeah, most people have a bad taste in their mouth for it.
For
For
sure.
good reason. I had one myself from previous.
Aha. Now we get into some goodness. No, or some not so goodness, because there is a lot, especially in the past year or so. Um, Existing network marketing companies have even evaporated, just dried up. And
Mhm.
that's painful. I know a few of the people that you work with who are very young entrepreneurs and yet also finding great success in what they're doing. What is it about this industry specifically, maybe, that is making that more possible for those people?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I'll turn the viewers straight to Google. If you Google search what industry creates the most millionaires in America, it's this one. It's the financial service industry. And I personally believe a big part of the reason for that is that we work with money. At the end of the day, if you want to make a lot of money, you work with money. And the reason it doesn't matter your age is simply that it's a system. I mean, look at Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is all over the country. And I think a good amount of people would agree they may not make the best food in general, but anybody can open up a Chick-fil-A. There could be another one right down the road, but there will be a line wrapped around the building all day long from open to close every day but Sunday. Versus something like Burger King, where it could be different. Even if they're on the same strip, you're going to get a different experience at each one. Why? Because they're not following a true system. They're not doing the whole copy and paste. It's run based on how the owner wants to run it. Where Chick-fil-A, it's copy and paste. They don't even allow you to own one unless you've gone through all of the stuff that Chick-fil-A wants you to go through to make sure that it's the same experience no matter which location you go to anywhere in the country. And our company operates the same way. It's a system. So it doesn't matter if you're 18 or 80, we're going to teach you that system so that every single one of our agents you sit with, minus personality differences, you're going to have the same experience. Yeah. You might have a longer conversation with one agent than you would with another just because one likes to talk more, but the experience itself is the same with everybody because we teach and follow a system.
Fun fact, if anybody listening, go back to episode 16. All I talked about was systems and how important systems are for business. And the episode was called Chaos to Clarity. And in that episode, I talked about the importance of systems, not only in your business, but in your life. You know, do you have a system for what you do when you wake up in the morning? You do. Just how aware of that system are you? You know, my system for waking up in the morning is I don't even put my feet on the floor before opening up scripture. And so then I get my glass of water and I'm now, starting my stretches, which, is an epiphany actually for moving my body. Just, those stretches that we did when we were like in elementary school, you had to do your shoulder rolls, do your neck rolls, things like that. I had an epiphany like last summer that that's real exercise. Those are real stretches that we should all be doing as adults. Do your neck rolls, do your shoulder rolls. The push-ups and sit-ups, we all get caught up in those, the strengthening, but man, do some body twists. You have no idea how good that is for your body. So these are the things that now they're becoming my system in the morning. Have a system with your spouse. Happy spouse, happy house. I learned that this morning, by the way. Um, for real. I've always heard the happy life or happy wife, happy life, but truly, happy spouse, happy house. It goes both ways. Have a system in your marriage, have a system in your business, have a system in many ways, and it makes things better. Following the system, like you were just saying, makes the biggest difference. And you're right. We have a system to follow that makes this easy. And oh, by the way, how about this question? Because I know the answer. Did you sell policies to your parents and your siblings? Or did somebody else help you?
Yeah, somebody else helped me. It was Wayne. I
Yeah.
didn't know what I was doing. I knew it was exciting. I knew I saw value and I knew they would too. But I didn't know how to market it, didn't know how to sell it, didn't know how to do anything that Wayne knew how to do.
And
And
that's the number one fear with network marketing, that you're going to have to go and you're going to have to sell to, and you're going to have to know all this stuff, and approach every stranger on the airplane. By the way, I have a real estate license. That was going to be the last license I ever got. Then I got a travel agent license. And that was going to be the last license I ever got. Now I'm studying for life insurance. Okay. But all of those, travel, real estate, life, I mean, all kind of has the same kind of people are like, oh, that's nice. I'm going to go take a walk. Kind of feel sometimes. Often because we become so enthusiastic about what we know can be a life changer for other people. Now, travel is the fun one. You say you're a travel agent, people are like, ah, they light up on that one.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, and you're right. There's a lot of just negativity toward network marketing or even things that require a license. Can we talk a little bit about why I didn't like network marketing in the
Oh
past?
yeah, please. Yeah. And you said, you'd been part of a group before. So yes, please expound without naming names.
Okay. All
Maybe.
right. All right. All right. There are probably about six different network marketing companies that I was a part of from the ages of 18 to 24.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
every single one of them, I felt like I'd been taken advantage of, and I felt like I was being taught to take advantage of other people.
Mm,
Right. I mean, the worst one of them all actually had to do with travel. And the way it worked is it cost $600 to sign up. And then bare minimum was another $200 a month to be a part of it.
yeah.
All you did was sign other people up for $600 and $200 a month. And the theme of it was that $200 a month was going to go into this travel savings thing. And eventually you're going to go on dream vacations. Sounds great in theory, but then when you try to go on those dream vacations, none of them are available. Shocker. And then when they're not available, when you want to go, most people would just drop their memberships. And now all that money is lost.
Yeah.
The guy that brought me into that in 1 month signed up 75 people, which awesome,
Do the
crazy.
math.
You know how much he made signing up 75 people in that month?
I don't know.
$38.
What?
Yeah. So the company made thousands. I mean, remember, $600 to sign up plus $200 a month. So $800 per person that signs up. I'm going to cheat, use a calculator.
You made 50 cents.
$60,000 that he made for that company, and he got $38.
That's 50 cents a person.
Yeah, pretty much. So that has
We're
been my
both just like, we're at a loss for words. This is just terrible. Okay, go ahead.
to me has been pretty much my experience up until I got into this business with network marketing. Is you'd have to sign up tens of thousands of people to basically be taken advantage of in order for you to make a living,
Mm,
right? Because now they're forced to buy something every single month, whether they feel like they need it or not. They've got
yeah.
to order products, they've got to keep an inventory, they've got to pay their monthly or annual membership fees and all this stuff. And my mom and I used to say that MLM stood for most lose money because that was our experience.
Yeah.
And then let's say you do really well with it. My uncle had built a huge business with this other company that was all about health and wellness products. And he got to a point of where he was making $10,000 a month back in, I was 10, so that would have been 2005.
Hmm.
Okay. That's a lot of money back then. Now that's not too much, but back then that was a ton. Then he passed away from the bladder cancer, and he had nobody to leave the business to, but he also had no will because he was only 41. So it wound up going to my mom through probate, and a few months went by. He wasn't making his orders because he's dead. He wasn't paying his membership fee because, again, he's dead. And so by the time it got to my mom, that $10,000 a month passive income dropped down to $400 a month with no way to reinstate it unless she went and rebuilt the things that he had built. All those clients were still there, all those customers were still making their orders, all those agents were still in his business. But because he had those few months of not doing what he was supposed to do, they stripped the title away and all the income along with it. And so it's like, wow, how do you build a business for 12 years? That's how long he had been building it, and get
Wow.
to that point just to have it taken away because somebody passed away. It's not like he intentionally was not doing what he's supposed to do.
Right.
No, he died.
Yeah.
And in the few months that it took to pass it on, that's what happened. I mean, what is that? A 96% drop in income?
Wow.
No way to reinstate it because of someone passing away? Insane. So that had been my experience with all these things, and most people are the same. They experience getting signed up into something where they felt like they've been scammed and taken advantage of. Fair enough, you probably were. They experienced the fact that they had to put out all this money and didn't really make any money back, and neither did their uplines. Their uplines upline, but they're selling a dream and telling you how amazing it is and how you're going to live in a mansion and drive a Lamborghini and wear Rolex watches, but they actually live in a cardboard box under the freeway. Not literally, but you get the point. And so that had been my experience. And it wasn't until I got involved with this and I saw that, wait a minute, I could actually do this without ever recruiting anybody if I wanted to and still make a ton of money. Because just like in real estate, I could be a real estate agent or I could be a real estate broker.
Right.
In this,
Exactly.
I can be an insurance agent or I can be an insurance broker and hire other agents. I'm not required to do one or the other. If I don't like sales, cool. I can just go out and hire a bunch of salespeople, get them licensed, teach them how to sell, and I can make overrides. If I don't like recruiting, cool. I can just go get my license, make a bunch of sales, make a bunch of money. So,
Excellent. Yeah. Well, and you know, a lot of the things that Jordan has described here with regards to network marketing, some of those things have course corrected over time. You know, the people who were making lots of money in 1990s and the early O's, there were uh, safeguards put into place so that people didn't have to pay $600 to get in, that they had to, by mandate, be able to get into a company for $49.95 or less. I believe that still exists. And of course, that's even less money today for most network marketing companies. Like we said earlier, though, in this particular organization where we are helping people be able to get insurance for their life, there is no monthly fee to maintain your agent or even your broker status, which is a game changer for most network marketing. Network marketing has, in some cases, turned more towards affiliate marketing. Sometimes they've just straight up said, we're not going to have this model at all. We're going to go direct retail. So companies can change, and that's probably not that's probably potentially true even in this industry, but there's also ways to put in some safeguards. And I know that this company in particular has some safeguards to make sure that, all will not be lost if something tragic were to happen to the person who has put the time in, put the money in. Or even if something not tragic, like you said, you could step back even at this point and live a pretty good life.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, if anything were to happen, if I were to just step away, pass away, whatever, there's no quotas. There's no monthly membership fees. There's no requirement to maintain a policy or anything like that. In fact, you could be an agent and sell policies without ever owning one yourself. And the only thing that you continue to renew is your insurance license every couple of years
Mhm.
and your liability insurance every year. That's it.
Yep.
So nothing that you're forced to buy or anything like that.
Yes.
So if anything were to happen to me, or if I were to just be done, nothing changes.
Yeah. It's crazy.
All
It's really good. Really good. So yeah, so I understand, you had your experience with network marketing. We cut our teeth on network marketing like that, and I did too. I think at those ages, I'd also been exposed to network marketing. I fell in love with it more in 2016, when I was exposed to my what I call my healthy coffee, and and I've been successful with that particular company, but it opened my eyes to really the difference we make when we invest in the businesses of the people that we know, when we're investing in the really truly local belly to belly entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
People often say, you'll go, spend $100 at Target, but will you spend $100 on your friend's business? You want to speak to that a little bit before we wrap up?
Yeah, yeah. Something I've been saying is that a client will become a friend faster than a friend will become a client.
Excellent.
The reality. So many people are quick to support Starbucks and never know who owns that franchise, let alone meet the guy that started it. But they won't go buy from your healthy coffee. Even if it tastes better, they just won't do it because it's not Starbucks. It's not the corporation. They're so quick to go in and order stuff from Target or GNC, but if their friend has a health and wellness business that sells better products, they're still not going to buy it because I don't do business with friends or I don't do business with family. Yeah, okay. It's sad to see, but that's kind of the world that we live in. The corporations have taken over so heavily that it's almost ingrained in us that I'm not supporting that small business. There's a very, very, very small percentage of people like my wife who just want to see small businesses thrive and will do anything they can to shop with small businesses versus corporations.
Yeah. And that's what Joyminder Solutions is all about, helping to raise up entrepreneurs, help them to get started. Even when I owned a manufacturing company, I loved that. Was it, there was the buy local movement, and we actually still do that, around Black Friday and all that. There is a, buy local movement. I think it's even a week before Black Friday, encouraging people, go find your local gift shop, go find your local people. I know on my Facebook feed, I regularly say, hey, network marketers and other entrepreneurs, put up an offer. Please, let's help each other out. Let's help people find what's your favorite thing you sell so that other people can find that and have that opportunity to do so. Yeah, the corporations are not shy. And I saw this morning. For the next person that tells me I'm in a pyramid scheme, tell me about your manager who works for the director, who's underneath the vice president, who operates under the CEO. Let's talk about that. And now let's talk about a pyramid scheme. Whereas, owners of our own franchises in network marketing, we are the boss. Yes, we have a system. Thank goodness we don't have to reinvent the wheel, but we truly will be rewarded to the extent that we put into it. Caveat: 70% of people who do get into a network marketing business, not necessarily ours, but others, will never even try to recruit anybody else or even sell to anybody else. 70%. And so when people say, oh, people don't make money in those, yeah, because 70% never even try. It's not until you get into the top 3%, I think, that you get to where they've tried or recruited or sold to 10 people. So,
Hmm.
Jordan, you're truly in the elite with thousands of people that you're overseeing, many of whom are also overseen. So, we've got a pyramid going here. Do you want to talk about pyramid quick? And then I want people to know also how to reach you. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, you can clearly see his name, but if you're listening on the podcast, Jordan, I'll have you spell your name as well. But about that pyramid thing,
Yeah, yeah. I actually even talk about that when I'm showing the business opportunity to people. As in this business, I'm what's called a regional field director. And so I have other managers that are under me, and then we have all the salespeople. And from network marketing, yeah, people are quick to say, oh, that looks like a pyramid scheme. Well, guess what? The position I'm in right now is exactly the same as the position I was in back at my restaurant because I was the general manager. Then I had all my managers under me, then all the supervisors under them, and then all of our employees. Huh. Imagine that. And each tier down, you had people making less and less money, but doing more and more work. Isn't that interesting?
isn't that fascinating?
And back then, I could never teach even one of my managers under me, let alone employees, how to do my job because then my job would become at jeopardy. So I could never help somebody make as much or more than me. But in this, I want everybody to make more than me. I want everybody to do better than me because that means my passive income goes up. It's like building my 401k.
Totally love that. That's amazing. Jordan, this has been so much fun. And so, any listeners, podcast, YouTube, wherever you are, if you want to connect with Jordan or me, you know how to reach me, hopefully. But Jordan, how do they find you? What's the best? Where do you hang out on social media? Oh, already told everybody Facebook. Do check out
Yeah.
his Facebook account.
Yeah, Facebook is my go-to. I've built that for many, many years. You can find me on there. I'm the only one with the check mark as Jordan, Jordan, like Michael Jordan, and Pryor, Pryor, like Richard Pryor.
There you go. You have built that. I want to ask a last question about your social media presence, ironically. You really have built that out and you are very consistent and you clearly have a system around what you're doing. For the beginning entrepreneur, first of all, beginning entrepreneurs, please go check out his social feed. Just admire it, whatever, click, like, comment, but make sure that his stuff starts showing up in your feed. That's what I'm saying. Second of all, Jordan, do you have any advice for those people that they're like, I'm a little afraid of social media. I don't know if I want to be out there that much. You don't personally share a ton of your personal life there, and yet you do.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, there is definitely a anonymity aspect that people do care for. They don't want everybody knowing what's going on in their personal life. Neither do I. I share the personal stuff that I am okay with sharing. So if we went to a cool restaurant or went on a cool vacation, I'll share that because there are already thousands of people that knew about it anyway. They're there. But I'm not going to share if I just had a baby and they're taking their first steps. Maybe I won't put that on my Facebook feed because not everybody needs to be involved with that. If you don't know me well enough to be invited to my house to see it, then you probably don't need to see it on my Facebook page. But what I do share very consistently is things that have inspired or motivated me. So anytime I'm scrolling through social media and I see something, I read it and I'm like, that's real good. I'll take it down, whether I recreate it myself or just screenshot it and repost it. I'll take those things that have inspired and motivated me and put it on my page. And the reason I do that is not because I'm trying to attract attention for myself. It's because if it inspired and motivated me, chances are it'll inspire and motivate someone else. And so I want to be a lighthouse as much as I can for anybody that comes across my page to maybe this is the thing they needed to see that can change the trajectory of their life. And that sounds crazy that a Facebook post could change somebody's life. But I will tell you, over the 15 years that I've been building my page in this way, time and time and time and time again, people have messaged me, texted me if they have my number, or just left a comment saying that this is exactly what they need to hear because they've been praying about it, or they've been talking to so and so about this exact thing, and this is confirmation, blah, blah, blah. And now things have gone a different direction because of something I posted. So don't think that what you're doing is not going to make an impact, even if you're not getting the likes and the comments. Post it anyway. When I first started building my page, I would get no likes a lot. I'd get two or three. I'd get no comments. I'd get one comment. Sometimes it was negative comments, but I just kept on posting anyway because it wasn't about me. It was about that one person that might see it and change their trajectory. So just be consistent no matter what the results are. Focus on your activity, not the outcome.
And to be clear, how much do you make when people like and comment on your posts?
I don't know.
Nothing. I mean, you're not doing it because you get paid on it. You just sometimes in business, I think it's important that we just do what we do because it's the right thing to do. And or in our cases, we have a little whisper from the Holy Spirit that says, this is important. Somebody needs to see this.
Amen.
So, well, I'm going to end this as we go with one little fun fact I discovered during our conversation today. Sounds like Thanksgiving 2019 was a pretty big day for you.
Yes, it
It was for
was.
me too. I was baptized that day. Just
All right. Hallelujah.
actually the day after. Now I just remembered it was that weekend. But yes, that weekend of Thanksgiving 2019. So big day, big changes for both of us at that time. And truly, you alluded to it before, but if anybody's hearing this and feeling a nudge of some sort, do reach out to us, either one of us, if you have a nudge and you want more information about that, or about network marketing, or about life insurance, if you want to talk about business. I'm sure either one of us would be more than happy to talk with you. And Jordan, I just can't thank you enough for being here today.
And pleasure is all mine.
So, with that, I want to thank our audience as well for joining us on the show today. Beyond the Business Plan is here for you to unleash your joyful business potential. And remember, entrepreneurship is a voyage that you can take with others. So find your tribe for the journey. And give us a like or subscribe or do whatever you do on your favorite podcast or video platform. And keep shining and aligning with your purpose and with Joyminder Solutions. Then come on back every week for our new inspiring episodes. And until that time, I'm LeanneLyon.com, your Chief Joy Officer, signing off. Keep spreading the joy, keep leading with heart, and I will catch you on the next wave of success. Hey, sales setters, want to navigate your success with ease? Download the Sailing System, your practical guide to charting a course, setting goals, and growing with purpose. Find it now at joyminder.com or check the show notes below for your roadmap to results. Thank you for sailing with us, sales setters. Remember, your journey goes beyond the business plan. So keep charting your own course, leading with heart, and tuning in for more joy and inspiration. Find all the resources and connections in the show notes below, and your support means the world to us. So join our conversation at #JoyMinder or simply share your favorite takeaways in the comments section below. Until next time, set your sails for success.